What's going on, FullTube? So, I kind of argued with myself over the course of the day as to whether or not I was going to discuss this topic. As many of you know, or have at least noticed, what is now my main channel, Brian Solange's Diss Outs, is now on lockdown and will be for quite some time. It turns out that what I thought was another troll flagging attack by the black femicunts was actually an automated system action against my account that looks for key words from specific channels that have been red lighted for being put under constant review, meaning that YouTube now has a system in place that when they decide they don't like you, instead of waiting for someone to flag you, or if you get flagged enough times, they will put your channel and any channels similar to yours or that appear to be yours under the supervision of this automated system that they have, where you cannot title your video with certain words. So essentially what happened was I put the word sex in my video about the DeMario and Kareen debacle, where the white girl was seen doing the humpy bumpy with the black guy in Bachelor in Paradise, part of ABC's Bachelor Paradise, and everybody threw a hissy fit about it, when we know that black females throw their pussy at white boys all day long and it's not a problem. And I was simply exposing the hypocrisy. And I think the first title that I made for that video was something to the tune of the DeMario and Kareen Bachelor in Paradise sex scandal, and how it exposes the hypocrisy of Hollywood. Well, other than the fact that white male liberals don't like being exposed, I found out that my channel had been red lighted and been put under the supervision of this automated system, where they don't even have to send moderators to view your video after it's flagged. Just you say certain keywords and boom, the automated system flags the video to be removed itself. I figured this out because I uploaded the same exact video and on several of my other channels, and within almost seconds it was removed. And I knew at that point that there was no possible way that human beings, because some of these channels y'all don't even know about, I knew there was no possible way that the video could have been flagged that fast on my alternate channels, where hardly nobody views it, or nobody views it because nobody knows about it. So I knew it had to be some type of autonomous action. So that I appealed the decision once I realized it was automated, and I haven't received a reply back, which also indicates that YouTube now is not even following their own protocol, following their own policy to answer appeals and at least have a human being view the video before they make the final decision, if the uploader chooses to appeal. So this is all the more reason for me and several other brothers to get the hell off of YouTube. And as if you noticed, not only is my channel on lockdown, but things have slowed way down for me here. There are a handful of videos that I still want to upload, including this one, but after that, it is strictly going to be promotional, me promoting my videos here for my videos on BitChute. I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 videos, including this video, and then after that, it's all BitChute. I would strongly suggest, and what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to put, because it seems like a lot of people have a short attention span, including some of the ones that watch my video, it should be obvious by now where my hard-hitting content is. But since it isn't, I'm going to put a link in the description box and also in the comment section where you can find my alternate platform, and where I would ask that you please go there, sign up, and support me on BitChute, okay, and other people who have moved to BitChute. It's only a matter of time before YouTube runs all social commentators that do not coincide with the status quo off of their platform, and that's fine because it's their shit. They can do what they want. But at this point, we have to decamp to greener pastures. Now, on to the topic at hand. And unfortunately, I know this isn't going to reach as wide of an audience as it would on my other channel, which is now officially on lockdown and is going to be on lockdown possibly until the end of the year. But I know many of you have heard about this foolishness concerning a tragedy which took place near my home city in Rosemont, Illinois. And for those of you who are familiar with Rosemont, you know that it is right there next to O'Hare Airport, which happens to be the busiest airport in the United States and one of the busiest in the world. I've worked up there on several occasions recently, and I know that area very well. Apparently, this young girl, I didn't get track of her age, but she looked like a teenager. Her name was Kenneka Jenkins, aka Kenneka Martin. I can't really figure out which one is her actual last name, because she seems to go by 2 different names, or people seem to tag her by 2 different names. She was found deceased inside of this industrial freezer in this hotel, a very upscale, in a very upscale area of Rosemont. For those of you who know anything about Rosemont, those hotels around there are not cheap. They're 4 and 5 star only. I mean, outside of Rosemont, there are a lot of little communities around O'Hare Airport, but basically, essentially, they serve the good of O'Hare International Airport. It's like that's the king point. And not only do you have Rosemont, but you have Elk Grove Village. Now, had this occurred in Elk Grove Village, where this girl was found dead in a freezer, has she been found dead somewhere in a little motel like Motel 6 in Elk Grove Village, or even Howard Johnson or La Quinta, I could understand that. But what I can't understand is how something like this occurred and went unnoticed by the hotel staff, even if it happened in the middle of the night. Now, the official version of what happened is what I absolutely believe happened up to this point, and that's that police have seen video footage of this young woman through the security cameras that were there at the hotel, of her stumbling around in hallways and near the front desk, and she's, walking along the wall, and she appears to be highly intoxicated. And then she disappears from view. Now, apparently this girl was part of one of these ratchet, weave rat, ghetto hotel parties that these Negroes love to throw all the time. And they think this is cool, getting bags of weed, smoking, drinking, fucking and talking shit and playing loud music, disturbing the other hotel guests until the police get called and throw their ratchet asses the fuck up out of the hotel room. So apparently this girl was a part of one of these little spiels, and she was a part of it with a friend of hers that went by the name, first name Monifa, last name Shelton, or at least that's what's swirling around on social media. And everybody is up in arms. Well, let me not say everybody. All the little millennial Negroes are, the ratchets. They're all up in arms, especially black American females that are millennials, that are on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. They're pretending to be so outraged about the death of this Kenneka Martin, aka Kenneka Jenkins. And they're pretending to be outraged because it appears upon the surface and upon many rumors and gossiping that was spread that Kenneka was set up by her friend, or at least it doesn't appear that way. But this is the rumors that are swirling around all over social media, including here on FoolTube, that this girl was raped by two young men that were in the room, and then she was murdered, and then her body was dragged and put into this industrial freezer. Now, there's several things that are disturbing about this. And I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off right now. The fact that people actually are believing the bullshit that's swirling around on social media about the tragic death of this girl, is more disturbing than her death to me. And I say that for several reasons, even though I know this is going to piss people off. Number one, niggas, the one thing that we all know about Chicago, even people who don't live in the United States, from the press clippings, what is the number one thing that we know about Chicago? And granted, this didn't happen in Chicago proper, but, everything around Chicago is pretty much considered Chicago. So what's the one thing we know about Chicago? Niggas die every fucking day. What's the number two thing we know about Chicago? Niggas from Chicago are not from the far end of the gene pool. As a matter of fact, if you want my opinion, they some of the dumbest motherfuckers in all of the United States, including out west where you have Negro, the Bloods and the Crips, and out east, in New York, like do or die, Bed-Stuy. No more evidential was this back when in January of this year, when we saw Brittany Herring and friends torture a mentally handicapped white teenager and then stream it live on her Facebook, on her personal Facebook, with her name, face, and face of her accomplices readily identifiable, not only to the public, but to the police. So we know two things right off the bat. Number one, niggas are dumb. And number two, niggas die every day. So then I have to question, why would the death of this girl, as tragic as it is, be any different from the thousands of deaths of niggas in Chicago every single year? That's the number one thing. The number two thing that is most disturbing about this is that Negroes, for some reason, and this really, kind of branches out well outside of these stories, usually about tragic cases about young black millennial females, or as I call them, weave rats, that, die sudden and tragic deaths, while young, usually meeting a demise. Usually they are the direct or indirect cause of their own demise. But when we get these situations, what you generally find is a public outcry from the black section of social media. Because first, what will happen is false rumors will start swirling about how the young person died, and then niggas will take that, because they love drama and they love rumors, which is why they love ratchet ass reality TV like Love and Hip Hop and whatnot. They will take these false rumors and blatant lies, and they will run with it, with having not researched the issue themselves at all. They just take what they hear and take what they think they see and just run with it, with no proof or evidence whatsoever that that's exactly what the fuck happened. Okay? We have seen this time and time and time again. Not only with stories that go viral on social media, but we see this in the way Negroes are outraged to the point where they've started this Black Lives Matter campaign. Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot. The autopsy reports, not only of the state medical examiner, but also of the independent medical examiner that the family hired, concluded that Michael Brown's could not have possibly had his hands up at the time that he was shot, given the trajectory of the way the bullets were traveling. Black people, especially the black millennial crowd, the generation that came after mine, they're like a really bad version of JFK conspiracy theorists. Does anyone else notice this but me? At least the JFK, the JFK barstool conspiracy nuts, at least they do research on what the fuck they're talking about. They still don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, I'm telling you, Lee Harvey Oswald took the shot from the 6th floor of the school book depository, and I know a lot of you dumbass niggas don't even know what I'm talking about right there. But he took that shot. All you gotta do is look at the evidence. But not to deviate, that's how a lot of niggas are. They take something and they run with it. They do no research whatsoever. There was a story not too long ago, I recall, of this girl, one of two actually, found dead on the I-10 expressway within a week. 16-year-old Kaylin Ward, who her tragic story went viral 2 years ago, I believe that was, in 2015. And niggas were doing basically the same thing they're doing in this case with Kenneka Martin, aka Kenneka Jenkins, talking about, she had been chopped up, and then all her body parts were thrown out onto the highway, and niggas was taking that and running with it, talking about how she had been murdered and this and that, and they hoped the police catch her killer, when in fact, when the investigation was concluded, it was found that Kayla Martin had ran away from home after getting into a heated argument with her mother for stealing the family car and going on a joyride with some of her friends earlier in the day. And while running away from home, she wandered onto the freeway for whatever reason, I guess figuring that she could cross, and she got hit by several cars. And that explained why her body parts were all over the freaking place. But there was no proof and no evidence whatsoever that she had been murdered. Now, except by herself and her own stupid actions. Now, in the Kenneka Martin, aka Kenneka Jenkins case, the one thing that I simply do not understand is why all of the uproar about this video that people claim, that niggas claim is crucial evidence that she was murdered. Now, the one thing that I've come to learn about niggas is that they're just not from the far end of the gene pool. They simply aren't. And I'm saying this as a black man. They just simply are not that bright. That's why whenever I see these little young nigglets with the multicolor weave and the long ass hair hats, as Tommy Sotomayor calls them, and these little dysfunctional brat ass looking niggas, little Chief Keefer like looking niggas that be walking alongside them when their pants hanging off their ass, I avoid these niggas at all costs. Okay? Because I know they're not from the far end of the gene pool. They just not. I mean, it's like a little walnut, with arms controlling an entire fucking body of a human being. They don't really have anything going on upstairs. That's why, you'll see these niggas, they get their news off these stupid ass gossip websites, where pictures are doctored and where, false rumors are spread, and they will actually believe that stupid ass shit. How many times have you been at work or at school and some nigga come up to you and show you something on their phone talking about this or this happened, and then you look at their source and it's some stupid ass gossip website, and then you do a Google search yourself and find that none of the major news networks are picking it up because it's not fucking true? How many fucking times have you seen that? Niggas are not, number one, they love drama. They're not too smart, okay? And they want to believe lies. Black Lives Matter, which we now know is Black Lives Matter, is a prime example of this. They will, most niggas, especially most millennials, will look at a fucking blue wall and call it green if they feel like it serves their interest. That's how niggas are. Instead of facing the truth, they would rather accept the lie. Now, I viewed this video that people keep, bitching and moaning about. And, I felt no need to include that video in this video, because all you have to do is type in Kenneka Jenkins or Martin and see for yourself on YouTube. The video will pop right up of this ridiculous looking black hood rat in a red wig and sunglasses for whatever reason, and sitting in a hotel room, and people claims that the reflection off of her sunglasses shows the body of Kenneka, and that you can faintly hear in the background moans and yells for help from Kenneka, when in fact the police and myself have looked at the fucking video and clearly see that there is no evidence whatsoever that nobody in that ratchet ass gathering that they had was in any type of distress whatsoever. As a matter of fact, when you hear right before the music is turned on in that 6-minute and 17-second video, if you listen at about, I say, 3 minutes and 9 seconds of the video, you hear a slight squeal. But that's the beginning of someone turning on some music, some loud ass music, which was quite rude if you ask me, to the other hotel guests inside the motherfucker. But that squeal that you hear did not indicate that anyone was in distress whatsoever. Furthermore, people keep saying that Kenneka was being raped in the bathroom while her friends were in the bedroom area of the hotel. But if you look at 5 minutes and 33 seconds into the video, one of 3 black females readily identifiable in the video actually goes into what appears to be a bathroom, because you see a shower curtain directly above her head. So if Kenneka is being raped in that actual hotel bathroom, while this other girl, Monifa, supposedly her best friend, is shooting Facebook live stream, then why in the hell would the other girl take the camera phone from her if they're trying to cover it up with music and go into the fucking bathroom where Kenneka is being raped, where you can clearly see a shower curtain over fucking head? See, this is why niggas don't make sense. This is why I say niggas do not think logically, okay? And this is not only merely my opinion, this is just looking at the few facts that we know about this case. And the only reason I'm really commenting on this, because there's so much ratchetry going on across the United States from west to east, north to south. Nobody can keep up with it all. Okay? I think some YouTubers like Tommy Sotomayor, they do a better job of keeping up with all this ratchet nonsense that be going on, but nobody can keep up with all of this. These niggas are constantly doing dumb shit and meeting their demise as a result of it. But the only reason why I bring this up is because this is a prime example. All these false ass rumors, all the death threats that Monifa and don't get me wrong, I'm not standing up for Monifa or her sister, who's also getting trolled and having her address put all out there on social media along with these other kids that were in the room. I'm not standing up for them at all. What I am saying is a couple of things. Number one, for everybody feeling bad for Kenneka, I went to her Facebook and I have looked at the pictures that were on there. What you see on there, including her posts, is typical of these millennial ratchet ghetto children that are raised in these goddamn insurgent zones, such as my hometown of Chicago. Okay, the number two thing you got to understand is Kenneka was likely involved in whatever her friends were involved in. Okay, which means she likely knew about the guys that were in there. She was likely smoking weed, like her friend clearly was smoking weed. She wasn't no darling, innocent little angel, that just went there thinking that they was gonna have a little birthday party with balloons and a red hat. That's bullshit. Whatever ratchet ass nonsense that her friends went to that party for, she went to that party for. She went to that hotel for. Okay? Her intentions were the same, if not similar. Okay? That's the first thing we need to get out of the way. The second thing we need to get out of the way is the myth about this video showing Kenneka through the reflection of this other girl's glasses being tortured in some way or another, or hearing her scream for help. Nowhere in that video, audibly or visibly, do you actually see that. If you think with your own fucking brain and hear with your own fucking ears, look with your own fucking eyes, and stop listening to all this rumored pro-dramatization bullshit that's swirling around on social media, as is always the case again when we have situations like this. Okay, all that video shows is a bunch of hideous looking females that all look like they need to take a bath, if you ask me, smoking weed and playing loud ass music and chanting all ill manners of fucking nonsense. Now, does that mean that the people in that video did not have anything to do with Kenneka's death? Does that mean that they didn't set her up? No, it doesn't. But what that does mean is that niggas speak before they know. Niggas don't do research on anything. They move before they think. They walk before they look. Okay? And that's the reason why niggas keep getting blindsided everywhere they go. Every turn they make. In these black churches. In these Arab liquor stores. By these white cops and politicians. By these fake ass civil rights leaders that claim to care about them, but in all reality, all we have to do is see the fucking black community and easily determine that they don't give a fuck about them. By the Jewish controlled white media that loves to stir shit up by race baiting and make it seem like Chicken Little and the black sky is fucking falling. I mean, when do you niggas actually wake up and see the light for yourself? Hell, for that matter, by the Democratic Party. When do y'all wake up and see shit the way it really is? Instead of believing all this fucking nonsense that people are fucking feeding you. The fact that everybody's so up in arms about this, and they can't even see where the bullshit meets the pavement when it comes to all of these damn rumors, is indicative of the whole of the black community and the way Negroes think and reason itself, which is why Negroes find themselves and their offspring in the situation that they are in time and time and time again. You niggas are up here cyberbullying a person that's clearly already has self-esteem issues, which is why she's wearing sunglasses to begin with no proof that she had anything to do with her little ratchet ass friend's demise. It's actually the official police account of what happened is that the kids that were in the room contacted the mother of Kenneka after she went missing. Okay? If they were gonna do something with her ass, why would they call and alert her mom that she's missing? Police are saying that they clearly see on surveillance videotapes Kenneka stumbling around in the hallways of the hotel, even up near the front desk, before she disappears. Now, does that mean that foul play was not involved? No. But none of that indicates that she was murdered and dragged into a freezer. Plus, where she was actually found in the freezer, okay, was in a place that was not frequented by guests because it's under construction. That part of the hotel is actually being renovated. So how would somebody that murdered her even know to go there? This indicates either one or two things. Either she was killed by a staff member of the hotel, or a staff member had a hand in her murder if she was actually murdered, or she walked drunk and probably high, since we saw them niggas in there smoking blunts. She walked in there high by herself, either subconsciously intoxicated, or even quite possibly, yes, running from something or someone. But there is no evidence that anybody put her in that freezer as of yet. Okay? It's the same thing with the Joe Glenowitz, that cop, ironically, 2 years ago, that killed himself and tried to make it look like niggas shot him. And had everybody, running all over the place looking for these 3 black male suspects, when he committed suicide to cover up his own fucking corruption. All I'm saying is niggas need to let the facts come out and look at the facts. Just like I just got done making that video about black women being the most educated. That's being a motherfucking lie. And the other thing, that really bothers me about this, the brutal irony, is that these are the same nigglets that cry about how much they hate the police and how racist the police are and fuck the police, right? And die pig die and all of that stuff. But yet, these same hypocrite ass niggas want these same police that they hate and call racist, these same white cops, they want them to go and arrest Kenneka's killers and charge them and put them under the prison and put them under the jail. Now hold on a second. I thought you hated the police. Why are you going crying to the police now? Huh? What changed from last summer when y'all was marching in the streets talking about Black Lives Matter? Oh, now all of a sudden the police, it's okay to go to them for help? And that don't include all the times you call 911 when your boyfriend is beating your ass, when one of your homies gets shot. It's okay to deal with the police then. It's okay to snitch now because you want to believe some bullshit ass rumors on social media about what happened to some ratchet, ghetto girl in Chicago that you don't even know, but you want to join in on the fucking viral orgy of people who pretend to care but really don't give a damn. Oh, now it's okay that the police step in. And see, that's another thing. Not only how full of shit niggas are, but how hypocritical and disingenuous they are. That's why nobody takes them serious. If I were a betting man, knowing how niggas act so randomly, even when they're not high, but especially when they high, I would say that Kenneka left out of that hotel room. She wasn't raped because there's no indication of that happening. She went stumbling around all throughout the hotel. The staff didn't make her little ass go back to her room, and she went walking around until she stumbled upon this area that should have been off limits to hotel guests. Okay, it was probably dark. She was high. She opened the door, walked in, and couldn't get back out. And she was too high to, try to scream for help or anything. And she probably just passed out in there and froze to death. That's more than likely, that's what happened. It does not take long for hypothermia to set in once temperatures drop below a certain level, to the point where your body temperature gradually goes down. What a lot of people don't know is, in a lot of states, the reason why temperature in a dwelling has to be a certain degree, I think like 60 degrees, is because the temperature has to stay at a certain point above 60 degrees to keep your body temperature. It doesn't even have to be at freezing temperature, but if it is not above a certain medium, your body temperature will slowly but surely go down until all the heat in your body is evaporated out of your body and you die. So if, like, say you're in a room that's at 55 degrees for a significant period of time and you don't get no heat, it could take weeks, but you're going to die. That's why safe temperature for the human body is something above 60 degrees. I'm not sure exactly what, but it's something above 60. So she could have been in there, and it may not have even been freezing temperature, but just being in there, probably high and incapacitated, she just died. Look it up. It actually happened at Atlanta's Peachtree Hotel last year. A staffer somehow found herself inside of a freezer that she couldn't get out of for 13 hours, and she died. Same scenario. Okay? And this is not the first weird ass thing that's happened at a hotel. There was an Asian lady a couple of years ago that was found dead in a water tower in a hotel on Skid Row in LA. It was later determined that she went up there by herself through a door that should have been locked by maintenance but wasn't. They were doing some work up there, and they had removed a lid of one of the water tanks that feeds the hot water so that hotel guests can take a shower. And she climbed up the ladder while under the influence of prescription drugs and died. It happens, okay? I'm not saying definitively that's what happened in this case, but I'm just, the whole point, I'm not even really trying to break down, my hypothesis about what happened, but that is my hypothesis. My main purpose for making this video is that niggas need to stop believing everything the motherfuckers tell them and start thinking for themselves. Stop being trifling and lazy and do the research, okay? Then if you come up with an educated guess, that still leads you to believe that somebody was murdered, okay, then yeah, you can be a JFK conspiracy nut. But niggas are so damn lazy. That's why you have niggas believing in this bullshit nonsense that's in these damn black churches that ain't been doing nothing for they black asses for the last 200 years, but keeping them enslaved, both physically and mentally. Wake up, Black America. Not everything is as it appears right when you open the damn hardcover and look on the first page. You got to look at the rest of the book too, goddammit. Talk to you later, guys.